Okay, here we are. Thank you everyone for attending this presentation about DMX. So some of you might be aware of what DMX is, some might not be. DMX is basically a simple DMX control protocol originally created by an alliance of lighting manufacturers, I guess it was in the 80s, for stage lighting, with the arrival of what we call intelligent lighting, moving heads, scanners. But later in the 2005 or 2007, I guess, with the arrival of LED in the architectural market, lighting manufacturers, they decided to create some DMX-compatible devices as well for architectural lighting. This is basically a standard created between to control lights send information from a controller to any kind of lights. So this is based on a 512 channels. Every single channel can have a value between 0 and 512. So this is exactly what you need to control, for example, RGB lighting. This is mainly for color, for dynamic lights. So it can be tunable white, it can be white, it can be like a color mix, but the main purpose of the control is for dynamic lighting and color. So this is built on a serial connection, and it uses 3 wires. So this is the main problem and the main thing that is important for this technology. This is, you have to make sure this is correctly wired. That's the only problem compared to DALI. With DALI, there is no plus, no minus, no ground. Here, this is the, in fact, to start with, this is the most important thing, is to use correct wires. When you're done with that, I mean, everything can be controlled, and there is a chain of, a DMX chain is 512 channels, and this is called the universe. And if you need more than 512 channels, so imagine like for every single pixel, RGB is 3 channel RGB or RGB white 4 channels, then you've got like 512 channels. If you need more channels, then this is what we call another universe. And all this can be carried over now Ethernet, of course, with the, to imagine like for lighting facade, you need a big amount of DMX channels. So this is why we now use like Ethernet technology to carry the signal, when it was only like simple like microphone cables with 3 wires in the past for stage lighting. So yeah, as I say, like multiple DMX universe can be carried on the on Cat5 or Cat6 cable now. This is what we use in the as a standard. So you've got the controller for the LED driver, spot drivers, or eventually some lights with built-in DMX receiver, so they can interpret like the information sent by the controller. So here we have like different kind of DMX controllers. Can be like basic, like DIN rail mounting interfaces. Most of the time for stage lighting, this is more like console, but in our case for architectural solid state lighting, they are programmable, so they come with a piece of software. Usually you program the lighting sequence with the software, and then everything is stored into a DMX controller. This can be like a basic electronic interface or touch panel like we have here, or DIN rail module for larger installations. So why DMX? First of all, it allows a large number of LED lighting features to be controlled simultaneously. So imagine like a big facade for a tower. If you want to play like eventually a video, you can use like DMX to do that. And I have all those LEDs synchronized, and it has some fancy, amazing like dynamic color sequences for RGB or RGB white, or eventually simple white LED. So the main advantage, if we were comparing to DALI, I don't know if you're familiar with DALI, which is more for static lighting used for commercial buildings. This is the speed. This signal is very fast, which makes it possible to control and to create like some smooth effects for LED. So imagine you're creating, for example, a color fade with LED. The problem that you would have is the signal was not fast enough. You'll see some flickering. So because of this signal, you have the possibility to create some very smooth fade and have some nice color, because we are not in the live entertainment market. You don't want to have like some fancy flashing. Say, imagine this is like for like a nice building, historical building. You don't want to play like a fancy colors. So you have to have very smooth fades, and DMX is the right tool for that. This is also compatible with all lighting manufacturers. This is a standard. So which means that as long as this is DMX 512 approved, it will work. And this is very important when you have this installed with multiple products from different manufacturers. So with one controller, you can have a very large amount of LED products using ArtNet protocol. ArtNet is basically DMX over Ethernet network. So it's, instead of having like one cable carrying like a single DMX universe, you can carry like up to, I guess it's now like more than 10,000 universes on the same cable. Another advantage of the DMX is the possibility to use software programming, which allows, like with timeline or like video editing software. In fact, the computer offers the possibility to create some very nice effects, very good looking. If the lighting designer, they want like sometimes some fancy colors, this is really easy with the help of the computer to keep those standards. Can also be integrated for, this is more for residential, but with home automation. So imagine like there is a possibility to have all those control systems to be connected together with cloud, even with third party now, information like Google or Amazon Alexa. I mean, everything is possible. With the help of the software, you got the possibility to have everything to work together. This is what we call like connected devices. I mean, you can have like the shutter, lighting, everything connected together. I know this is more for residential, but also for like commercial use. Sometimes you've got some customers, they want to use that. And last point, retrofitting is possible with the wireless DMX solutions. There are some wireless systems that they work perfect, and imagine because the problem of, again, I remember I say like the problem was the wiring. So when you get to an install that is already like in charge, the problem is carrying the DMX somewhere. With wireless DMX, this is now possible to use, like, as long as the power is there, there's the possibility to retrofit the install and move from standard lights to a DMX compatible light. So for what kind of application? Everything, indoor, outdoor, for lighting control, for commercial use, for residential. It can be fountains, it can be for theme parks, because we control lights, but we can control everything. It can be like a coffee machine if you want it, as long as you have the right electronic device to convert the DMX to something with power. Stadium, museum, airport, facade, everything is possible. As long as it is DMX compatible, what you need is the right power supply, LED, DMX control, and then they can talk to each other. So basically, every kind of application can be controlled over DMX. The only limit is the imagination, in fact, because everything is possible. So as long as you want to do something, DMX allows to do it. This is what is important with that technology. What kind of device you can control? Everything, LED tube, in-ground spot, big architectural fixtures, wall washers, LED strips. This is available for street lighting as well, underwater, fountains, moving heads. I know moving heads is not really like what we might talk here, but this is something that is possible as well for like what we call architainment. When you have this special event, this is sometimes good to lighting a facade, for example, to use like some nice gobo and projection. DMX allows to do that for special events. And so with the DMX, all those kind of lighting devices can be connected together with a single controller. This is what is important. You don't need like to have like a controller for this, a controller for this one, another one for this, and no possibility to have them talk to each other. Here, one controller, multiple devices, they can talk to each other, and then it depends on the controller, of course, but this can be like synchronized with clock, calendar, can receive information from sensors, from whatever. Like it can be like control over the cloud now, because we have also the possibility to have some cloud applications and some remote location. Imagine you have this project with a shop, like a chain of shops, like 100 shops over the world. You want to have the possibility to remotely update the lighting from a location. This is going to be possible. Just sending information to a controller, as long as you know the lighting which are behind this, it will be possible to control them and update like a different color for Christmas or whatever. So, in conclusion, like DMX is the perfect solution for lighting control. For simple reason, it's flexible, scalable, integrable, powerful enough to run like LED, and also programmable. It offers the possibility to program instead of use like preset controllers sometimes, which gives like a couple of colors, but as long as you want to do like something a bit more according to your needs, you will have to program it. And with the help of software, it helps a lot for this. Numbers of LED devices can be controlled and synchronized, and this is what helps to create like amazing color mixing effects, or eventually white effects. I know like tunable white now is very important in this industry, and the DMX is the perfect tool to do that. Of course, there are some possibility to have some gateway between DALI and DMX. DALI is more used for commercial, for office lighting, and there are some DALI to DMX or DMX to DALI gateway that enables to have those information, those two protocols to communicate together to light a building. So whether this is for indoor, for outdoor, there is a DMX controller for the project. This is what is important. You don't need of course, there are like numbers of DMX controllers in the market, so you will always have to look for the right controller for this application. But because of the standard, it makes it possible to control everything, and that's what is important with DMX. And something I forgot to talk about is the DMX works with addressing. That means that there are 512 channels that are paid like for one DMX universe, and it works by addressing, which means that every single device will have its own what we call DMX address on the, let's say, on the network, which means it gives the possibility to the controller to send the right information to the right device on the network. This is like something like IP addresses on the local network for computers. This is the way they all have their own make sure they receive their own information. And the basic of the wiring is you go to one device, there is an input and an output. So it's a chain, and this is how it works compared to DALI, which is easier to. DALI is a little bit easier to wire. This is a wire with a star, but the problem of the DMX is this. This is the only problem, in fact, the wiring. So as long as wiring is done with the addressing, with the system of addressing, everything can be connected, and this is also very effective for retrofitting, as I said, like because of the wireless system. It is possible without wireless DMX as well, but again, wiring is the thing that has to be done properly in order to have a nice DMX installation. As long as DMX wiring is done, there is a DMX control solution for your project. So again, DMX, wires, and that's it. Thank you very much.